Well, hello, and welcome to the Train Buddy Shop once again. We have got an RS11. This is, I believe, made by Life Like, it says on the bottom. And we're supposed to put an inexpensive sound system in. So this is going to be interesting. This is an inexpensive sound system would be Digitrax. We have a speaker here. Don't know if this is going to be one that we're going to be able to use or not. It's already got an enclosure in it, and it actually looks like maybe it had a sound system already in it, and we're just going to change that over. So let's take a real quick look into the body and see what we got. So we'll turn it over here to see how to get the shell off. I often say it's harder to get the shell off than anything else, and it looks like we've got to take the couplers out. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and just take a second, and then we'll be able to take the shell off and see where we're going. So let's do that. And again, just two screws, and these pull out. When we go to put these back, we're going to have to be real careful. The way that this is set up, we'll show that later on. But it has a cut bar, which is the bar that the brakeman grabs in order to disengage the coupler, and this little ledge on the top here gets caught in that. So again, it will be better when we put it back on. This coupler over here is already starting to come apart. It's a plastic coupler. So usually when I'm this far into these things, especially if I'm going to put sound in it, I'm going to put if I'm going to put a $150 sound system or $125, doesn't matter. This particular one, he wants an inexpensive sound system, so that would be in the $20 or so $60 or so dollar range. But I'm going to spend that kind of time to do that. I'm going to put couplers on it. I just refuse to do anything else other than do it right. We're going to put metal couplers on this. Now, interestingly enough, if you look, we're going to zoom in on this, and so you can see that this shell has got the added, and I say added because they're usually in the box, but they're not put in. It has screws here and here, okay, that holds the shell on. So make sure you take those out. And again, if you didn't know this, if you had not done, and I say often that I've done thousands of these. I've done 1,000 or 1,500 engines, not all of them this kind, but that means that I've done dozens like this, and so I know what I'm looking for, right? So that's off. The tank. So you see the tank here, right? Typically, that tank is not glued on, but it's got a double-sided sticky tape on there. How do I know that? Well, because I've done so many of these, right? So we just kind of pick it up and kind of wiggle it back and forth a little bit, and eventually it will give, right, and will come off. But it's on there pretty good. I like it. So I'm going to wiggle that, and I'm not going to take up your time, and I'll be right back. Okay then, so I was wrong. It wasn't double-sided sticky tape. As a matter of fact, what it was there were two, call them hooks and loops. There's two little pads here, if you can see that, right? And it went into this connection and this connection over here. Now, knowing how this goes together, so you see this one came apart here as I was pulling it, and so we're going to fix that back. Focus, there you go. Put that back together again. But knowing how it came apart this way, okay? And if you were paying attention to any of the videos before, if you look at the top up here, right, up here, what you see is here is the fill, right, and it's only on one end, right. There's the fill. There's the simulated fuel gauge, if you will, sight gauge, right, for the diesel fuel. You turn it over, right? Turn it over, and the same thing. See, here's the fill, here's the sight gauge, and where is the cab? Right there, right? So the engineer or the conductor, right, can get out and they can fill and read, you know, how much fuel they've got. Okay, so no matter what, it won't go. I mean, it will go this way, right? But that's not correct because the fill would be on the wrong side. So this is how you know how this is done. And again, this is prototype. Okay, so you're following the prototype. All right. Now we've got all this off. Oh, look, there's another screw. And that was one of the reasons why I had to take this apart, by the way, or take the fuel tank off, was because there's still another screw in here. Whoop, wrong screwdriver. Get the little one. Okay. Then we got all three screws out. Now let's see how hard it is, right? Let's see how hard it is now to get this apart. Well, oh, it's going to fall apart. It's just going to fall apart. There we go. All right, this is a classic Lifelike engine. And it already has a decoder in it. Ho, ho, ho! It has a Lifelike decoder. It has a Digitrax decoder, and ding, 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 ding. It's got 8 little holes here. See them? Da, 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 da. Right? For additional sound. We can add sound to this. Wow, this is more than I thought. I didn't know we were going to have to do this. I thought we were going to have to put a sound decoder in this. Lifelike Digitrax, right, makes this thing they call the SoundBug. So the SoundBug will fit neatly into this, and this makes a wonderful video. I didn't think we were going to have to do this, but this is great. Okay, so let me get one of those off the shelf and get started. By the way, this is also interesting here. If you notice, they're using black tape. You can use black tape. You can use Scotch tape, actually. I'm not quite sure which is better. But the problem with using black tape for this, even though they say it's electrical, yeah. The problem is it gets sticky. And if it gets hot and gets warm and everything, it gets all this gunk and goo and everything gets down into your motor and your engine. No. Preferred, if you got to, but preferred is to use Captain tape. Captain tape we talked about earlier before, right? This is Captain tape, and this is not even name brand, right? The name brand would be written on the inside of this, so this is some knockoff. But in any case, it sticks to metal. That's one of its hallmarks. Is the reason why you buy this stuff, and because you're going to put it on metal. It's extremely thin, right? And anytime you want to make sure that you're working with something that you're going to have to put the shell back on, and if you get it over the sides, you don't want it to have any kind of thickness to it at all. Which, by the way, is the other reason why you don't use this. In comparison, right? These two are miles apart in terms of thickness. This is probably 0.001 or 0.003, and it's probably 0.001. In any case, and we can actually measure that. Oh, I got new batteries in my digital micrometer today. And this is a dielectric, right? This black tape is too, right? Is also a dielectric, which means that it doesn't conduct electricity, and that's exactly what you want. Right? This is very high temperature. Very, very high temperature. 300 degrees F, right? Actually, 600 degrees F, right? 300 degrees C. And this is, I just mentioned that. When it gets warm, right, it starts to get sticky and starts to fall apart. So this is more expensive, obviously. The Captain tape. Captain, by the way, is a registered trademark. By the way, DuPont. I don't know, 3M. Somebody look it up. I'll put it in. Put it on the video. All right. So now we're going to go get the SoundBug. So hold on. All right, I'm back, and here it is, and we got it off the shelf. Now this is the SFX004. Now the current version is 006, and I've got an 006 on the shelf, but this guy wants inexpensive, $42.49, and you can't even get this anymore, so we might even discount it a little bit. Let's see what we can do with it. It has a 1-inch speaker. There is no place for a 1-inch speaker in this anywhere, so we're going to have to modify that. And this speaker that he had, don't quite know where we would put that, so we're going to look around a little bit. In any case, let's get this out of the package. So I'm always reading the instructions, and this particular decoder is an L0, the L there being a lifelike. And notice how it says, look at these instructions, make sure that you're mounting this correctly so that the pin out is correct on it. We're going to mount it then like, we're going to go back to the locomotive, and mount it like this. Okay, so it will mount exactly like that. And again, we look at the side view of the DH165L0 as shown here, and that's the orientation that we're going to use. Alrighty then, so I've got the decoder installed, and having a heck of a time addressing number 77, which is what he wanted, is a 2-digit address. It's working. There's the bell. You can hear the bell maybe. Whistle, maybe you can hear it a little bit. Obviously this is not the right speaker. Can't put that speaker in there, it's too big. We got other issues here. The motor does work, so we can see that. Got some dirty track here. So you can see the light on. So it's working. We got a steam sound. We need to change that over to a diesel sound. Otherwise, this is like done, because the LEDs, we're not going to change those. I'm not going to do anything else. Things that you need to know or think about is if you look at the bottom of this, Captain tape was on it, and we want to keep Captain tape on there because we don't want any of those shorting to the frame, especially the 2 screws, because the 2 screws are actually track left and track right, so you don't want those to short out, otherwise the whole frame and the whole engine shorts out. The white wire here is used for steam, for a hooked into a contact which is connected to the wheels. Typically 1 revolution gives you 4 chuffs, so it's a chuff circuit. We don't need this obviously with this engine, so we're going to cut that back fairly short. We're going to leave it out in case you might want to change this out to something else. In any case, we're finished here. It was just that good. I might do another small one after I clean up the wheels and put another speaker in there and get it ready. We'll do one more short one on this project. Alrighty then. So with the decoder installed and looking at what speaker we could use with this decoder, the SoundTrax is a good alternative. This is their 810154 cube. It's good for 1 watt. The SFX004 also has a 1 watt output, so this is a good alternative. We also find out have got some space, so this will be perfect in here where we can put it. Actually, put it right about there would be good. Okay, so I'm going to install that and I'll be back in a second. Alrighty, so we're finishing up now, and I put the exhaust fan on while I was soldering, and I don't need to solder anymore, so I'm going to turn the soldering iron off and the fan off. And I wanted to show you a couple things here. One of them is where we're going to put the capacitor. So the capacitor is, we could put it back here somewhere. We might be able to shove it there. There's a big hole right here underneath these wires. I put a piece of Kapton tape across the top just to keep these two from shorting out against the frame somewhere. So we're going to put that in there. And again, I put some double-sided sticky tape in there. It's not real critical which way it goes in, just as long as it stays there, and so it will. We have to concern ourselves a little bit with the wires now, and this is dressing, right? Dressing the wires, or making sure that they're going to fit in the right spot. So now we've got all the wires in the place where they're supposed to be, and we're gonna put another piece of Kapton tape across this back group of wires. They put a piece of black sticky tape. Man, that's okay. Let's just go ahead and add another small piece here. So we're gonna pull that out. Move my penny. Using my penny seems to work pretty good. I'm going to cut a small piece here and use that across this part to give it some stability and keep the wires where they're supposed to be. You could pull the tape off here, right? Sometimes your fingers are too big. You need another set of fingers here, so we use my favorite pair of tweezers. And you can just pull the Kapton tape back, put the wires in there, put the Kapton tape back like that, right? And it's good shape. Whoop, kind of in good shape. I noticed that you have to make sure that you're not going to short out against the frame here. So that's kind of where we are. Tuck that back in there. Get that all nice and tight. There we go. Now before I put the lid on, I'm going to test it one more time. So bear with me. Alrighty then, here we go. We've got it on the test track. Oh, it sounds a lot better. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but now it still has the steam engine sound, so we're going to have to fix that a little bit. The bell's kind of tinny. Not kind of sure what kind that is. Lights come on. Yeah, we're in good shape with the lights. Making sure they go on in the right direction. There we go. We got some bright lights there. Okay, going in that direction. Yep. Still need to clean the wheels up, but I think we're good to go ahead and button it up. Okay, so I put the lid on and cinched everything down and was ready to give up, and then was going to put the couplers on and realized that this was the place, the pocket was too high. And it was too high only by a hair's breadth, probably 40 or 50 thousandths. And as I look up here at the top, what I see is this. I'll try to point to this. It's tough to see. But this piece right here, let's zoom in on it. Okay, this piece right here, right, is not setting down where it was. There's I don't know if you can see from the back here, but there's a lip there that wasn't there before. Okay, So this has to go down. I thought it was just, that's the way it was. If you look down inside of here, you can see the feet, the two pins didn't go down in the hole like they were supposed to. So the reason it's not going down is because the speaker's in the way. So what I'm going to do is I've got just about that much room there. I'm going to shave off this top piece here, shave it off so that it'll fit down flush. And I think that's all I need. I just need that little bit of room right there. It could be the wires too. Notice that the wires are underneath the speaker here, and because they're underneath the speaker, that puts the speaker proud. But I believe it's up here that's the problem. So I'm going to go ahead and shave that off, and we'll come back. Okay, I just took a couple of minutes to shave that off, and you can see now that it's down where it's supposed to be. It's almost flush with this top here. See that? And again, you can see by it, and you can see that the speaker is now a little loose, but that's okay. That's okay. So when I put the top on now, we should be in good shape and be ready to put the couplers on, couplers and box on. Alrighty then, we're ready to install this one coupler, and so if you see the issue we talked about before, which is this has a lip. So if I put my finger behind it, you can see the kind of triangular lip there. That lip has to go in here like this, okay. And if you see right here, whoops, it's crushing this piece of plastic right there behind it. Now I can do this. Interestingly enough, I can do this with this pair of. I'm having a hard time getting all my fingers in here, but I can take this with the tweezers and I can pull it up. It's made of Delrin, so it's very robust. It's not going to break if I pick it up. And you can see, I'll do this with the camera at the same time. Pull this up like that. There you go. And see, it sits over top of the lip just like that. All right, that's correct. All right, if you squish it, you'll find that you can't get the screw in. All right, so that's correct for the screw, and we'll just throw the screw in there and we'll be done with that one. We'll do the same thing on the other side. But it's something that people forget when they're doing these particular engines. These are Life Like, and Life Like is just like it says, Life Like. Those are cut bars for coupling and uncoupling. They in the real world, they actually attach to the coupler, and then they pull the pin from the coupler. So yeah, there we go. We got one on. We're ready for the testing it out. Flips both ways. Spring comes back. Good shape. Go for the other one. Alrighty then, we're done, and let's take this puppy for a spin around the layout. So let me get back to the controls here. Try a bell, horn. Sounds good. Sounds good. We've got some issues down at the end, so we'll just stop it right here at the station. And we're out. Thanks for being with us.